Hello everybody and welcome back to Europa. I was going to say Imperator. It's been a while. And by that I mean it's been a while since we played Imperator. I'm not sure where that came from. That's very exciting. But we're currently full on manpower and we're working right now on growing our economy a little bit. How are we doing on our tech? Okay. I think that we should probably hold off on attacking anyone until perhaps our next admin tech. And we should have our next military tech by then as well, is what I'm thinking right now. So that would be about 3 years of chill time. That seems reasonable. We don't really care about this coalition against us, except insofar as if we attack a member of the coalition, the entire coalition will defend them. If we come down over here, though, these guys aren't part of the coalition. Well, Thais is in a coalition, but we're not going to co-belligerent them. So that's absolutely fine. So we could come down this direction. We could fight here. We could maybe fight out over here. Now, I was thinking about attacking Fars, actually. And I kind of want to just do this. Kufa would join. So we'd need access through Khuzestan. But that would be it. This is very viable. Yeah, I was talking about this right at the very end of last episode. I think it might have been after the credits rolled. And I just now remembered it, and I want to do it. This is really good. But we're going to wait a little bit. Not a huge amount of time. We're going to have these guys walk down over here. We should only need the 2 armies. And Hamadan entered into a military coalition against us. Hilarious. We're going to walk down over this way, let our morale regenerate a little bit, and then we're going to declare this war. They're in 2 existing wars as it is, and we need to get through here. So we need to declare directly on Fars here. And they have very little to throw against us, so let's do this. These are not needed for war. Let's be honest. So what we need to do here is we need to mothball all of our forts except... do we have a fort here? Yes. Do not mothball this fort. And do not mothball this fort. They could theoretically come down and attack Medina, but if they do have an army down here, that seems reasonably fine. So we're going to do something like this. We're going to get these guys back to drilling. We don't need to have these armies operational for right now. So that all looks good. They're going to be drilling, and we're just going to have these guys out over here. So we're going to move in and attack right here. This will happen after the month tick, so that's perfect. That's a stack wipe. Now, this would be the path that we'd take if we wanted to go out and around, and I do want to go out and around. I want to get down here as soon as possible. So we're going to get down there very, very quickly here. This is not too bad of a path, but we are going to have to fight some rebels on the way through. That's okay. I'm not terribly concerned about it. We're not going to de-occupy this. As you can see, we're doing pretty well on this siege, so that looks great. Okay. So the question here is, Kilwa is fighting them here. I'm assuming that they're going to... Oh, we just lost this military leader. I'm assuming they're going to siege that. Yeah, that's the case. Okay. So hopefully they're going to peace out of that pretty soon. That's occupied by Mali, and I highly doubt that Mali is actually going to take that territory. My goal here is as follows. I want to take Kufa's territory, and I want to vassalize Fars. That's the idea. So, over here in Kufa's territory, I want to take this. We can't get any gold. They wouldn't accept this right now anyway. They have 0 reasons. Okay, fair enough. So Kufa's offering us peace. No shockers there. I'm going to exchange these armies at this time. So we're going to walk up over here because this one doesn't have any... Mali's so discontent. Very rude. This one doesn't have a leader. So I want to get out of there for now, and we're going to pull back over here. Fars is offering us peace. No. We're going to crush Fars for being the emperor. That is our goal here. We'd like to be the emperor again. And we'll see what happens if Fars is our vassal. That's going to be really, really interesting. What happens if the emperor is your Fars? Or your Fars is your vassal. They just re-elected Fars as the emperor. Ah, look at this. The war with Mali is actually over. So let's roll up a general and let's walk right on in over here. Hopefully we can get there in time to actually siege that. Are they in any other wars? They are. But no one else is around, I don't think. So this looks fine. Achaia entered into a military coalition against us, and we just lost a general up in Rome. Okay. No, this was not in Rome. Where was this? Over here. There we go. So we're going to roll up a general here, no problem, and get back to drilling. Thank you very much. So that looks good. And this will be taken very soon. So the plan is to vassalize Fars and then annex them later. We're going to vassalize the emperor if we can. If we can't, then what's the goal? We actually can. They wouldn't accept this right now, but this would be really, really funny. So we're going to do it. That's going to be absolutely hilarious. And we can purchase an ability at this moment. I'm thinking Force March costing no power would be great. So we're going to take that. That seems wonderful. And there still hasn't been a spawn of industrialization, has there? Interesting. It'll definitely spawn by 1760 or 1770. Your mother was a hamster and your father smells of elderberries. I recognize that insult, but it came from Mali. That should have come from the French, clearly. Well, we're going to finish up this siege right up over here. I'm going to have these guys just start wandering back. They're not needed over here anymore. They're probably, I think they were not taking attrition there, but we're going to have them wander on back anyway. And the war is over. So that is absolutely wonderful. These guys are trying to take territory down over here, but I wish them luck. They must have walked out and around. That's okay. So at this point, Kufa, we are going to take whatever gold we can. There'll be some angry people. That's understood. There'll be more. And we're going to take that. Then we're going to ticket one day. And then we're going to go talk to Fars. And we're going to be like, you are going to be our vassal now. The Emperor is our vassal. And then that immediately shifted Ray to be the new emperor. Okay. Our subject is an elector of the Holy Roman Empire, but the emperor refuses to transfer this role to us. So we now have a claim the electorate CB against Ray. Where is Ray? That is these guys right up over here. So they're now the emperor. And we've never been an elector. So there's that. I want to do that. So if we were to declare on them, who would all join? Achaia, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Khuzestan would not, and Kermanshah. But I want to claim the electorate here. This is the goal. We have no diplomats to send right now. Nobody would join this, but we don't need them to join us. So this is fine. I think we're going to absolutely do this, and we'll be at war with a number of people, but it's fine. I'm not scared of this war. I'll leave our forces, or I'll leave our forts up for this war because there's a number of locations that may be under threat. And let's take a quick look here at what this war actually looks like. This doesn't look too bad. Yeah, this really doesn't look too bad. We've got these guys down here. We've got these. We've got this. We've got this. It's all okay. So for right now, I want to just beeline to Ray, which we can do. So we can head right up over there, and then this force here can head over towards Isfahan, but we're blocked by a hostile fort, apparently. So we can just head up over this way for now. But I'd like to go take their capital. We want to become at least an elector, so we're definitely going to do that. They're not going to be very successful at stopping us either. So this looks fine. We're going to take this position, and then we're going to walk up over here. Keep in mind, we have ludicrous amounts of troops in reserve at this moment, and we should absolutely be coring here. So we'll get that going. Our consort died. Very rude. And this is why we left our forts up, because we know that there's going to be some of this happening. So I'm going to bring these guys over to defend and probably go on the attack up over in Anatolia. So we'll see what that ends up looking like. As far as Kermanshah goes, do we want to vassalize them? Maybe. We'll probably never be able to integrate these vassals. Keep that in mind. Reason being, there's so much unlawful territory in here. We'll probably never, ever, ever be able to do that. But for now, it's okay. So the Siege of Ardalan is now over, and that should mean that, yeah, we aren't going to demand this province, obviously, but this is Kermanshah. I don't think they have other territory, so we can probably piece them out. Yeah. We could make them be our vassal, and I think we should. They wouldn't accept this right now, so fair enough. So we do see a 40k stack coming in to attack Fars down this way. We'll come down to defend that. That's the primary force up over here. So Makva entered into a coalition against us. That's fine. And we've got a fair amount of gold at this moment. So do we want to build, say, some state houses? Why not? We'll get a couple of those going. So that all looks good, and I'd like to head up to Isfahan. We'll catch this force right here. That's stack wiped. I don't care about these rebels. Christian influence, very rude. We're going to catch a small force here, and then we'll start sieging Isfahan. But we do see their main force right here, and they've got decent numbers there. So I'd like to come out over this way, and I'm just scoping out who's opposed to us here. What's this out over here? That's part of Achaia? Okay, so that's these guys here. Noted. I think for right now, we'll send one of our armies here and one of our armies here. Excellent. Now the question is, do we want to risk this attack here? What's their Miltech? Their Miltech is 28. They have a Miltech on us. So they have probably... Yeah, I think we'll not do that for now. We'll just back off over here. They've got a slight numerical edge if our forces are apart. So we're going to head up over here. They're probably going to try to do this. Now, we can force march without costing any additional military power. So we're going to force march up over this way in case they try to attack here, but it looks like they're actually not, which is intriguing for sure. We're not actually able to siege here. So I'll bring this army up to help that. Looks fine. Okay, so I'd like to have these guys stop force marching. Well, actually, it's fine. There's no reason not to force march really right now. You don't regenerate morale while you're force marching, but we've got this at 0%. We've driven their forces off, and we can see that they are heading up to attack our vassal up over here, which we cannot get to because of this fort. Okay. Well, we'll go siege that. It's okay. No more force march there. That seems fine. So this is the war goal here, and we do want to definitely make some big movements here. So Ray is now the emperor again. Fair enough. Everyone hates us, so this isn't surprising, right? This is not at all surprising. We are not going to be seeing any caps happening here, unfortunately, but I do absolutely want to get a siege going there. Okay, now the question is Kermanshah willing to be pieced out? I want them to be our vassal, ideally. No, they have 13 reasons not to do this at this moment. Do they have any territory we don't know about? No? Okay. Well, we'll just continue here. The Siege of Lika is over. That was Armenia that did this. Sure, whatever. I don't care. That's fine. They can do that. So, we see Ray's primary army on its way back. For now, we can move out over this way with this force. They might be trying to take back Tehran. That's exactly what they're doing. We just had a ruler die, so that's noted. And I want to head in over here. So at this point, how are we doing on this Miltech? Okay. I mean, we'll definitely be on time for that Miltech. The Diptech might be a little spicier. We'll see. We will be the defender here in Drylands, by the way, which is why I'm doing this. We also have a general advantage, 4-1 compared to 6-4. So we're going to have an extreme general advantage here. So I think this is a favorable fight for us to take. We also have a slight numerical edge, so let's see how this plays out. They got a disease outbreak right before, and our generals are just so much better. So Farsi peasants have risen up down over here. That's understood. I'll send this army to go deal with that. Fars cannot deal with that. So that seems okay. And they're definitely trying to do some sieges down here. We can bring this army up to defend. And as far as Lika and Venice goes up here, we can send an army to Venice directly, like so. And then we can just wander on over to Lika. But this isn't particularly threatening, right? So let's just get that all underway. We won the Battle of Venice. No shockers there. And we'll just cruise on over to take back Lika. Tehran is under our control now, and with Tehran being under our control, of course, we're in a pretty good spot. So Kermanshah, what's their opinion on this? -8 still. Okay. Well, if that's the way they want to play it. So this has been occupied by Fars again, and now I kind of just want to head up over this direction-ish. We'll wander up here. We may not get there in time to protect this, but that's okay. Excellent. So the Siege of Astara is over. That was this out over here. We'll just continue to push through Azerbaijan. They'll be willing to exit this war pretty soon. And yeah, I see this going on over here, but I'm really not very concerned about it. Okay, so Azerbaijan is going to be under control very shortly here. And I want these guys to head out over here. And these are then going to head up this direction. Okay, so this siege will be finished soon. The Siege of Oltu is over, so we're done here. These forces are now able to head elsewhere. So I'm going to send one there, and then one is going to go back to reserves. We're not going to need them. So this siege is going to be concluded very shortly. Now I'd like to head down over this direction and hit Akia. There we go. Everybody wants out of this war at this point. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Actually, it's not shocking at all. So I'm going to hold grabbing admin tech for now. I don't think we're going to be doing any coring, but we're going to hold grabbing tech. So for now, what I want to do is I want to piece out Kermanshah as our vassal. And yeah, this is going to make some people slightly upset. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. There we go. So they're now our vassal, and I would like to come down and, you know, improve relations a bit with Fars. So we'll send one of our diplomats to go do that. So that's now done. And the next one would be Azerbaijan. So Azerbaijan, I'd like to make them be our vassal, but that's not going to be an option. We can't core any of this. So we need to just do war reps and gold and piece them out. There we go. Now we can check in on Oltu. We might be able to do that, but we're going to pull these guys back. There we go. Armenia wants peace. Hilarious. We're going to say no to that one. So we stack wiped that little unit, but we're going to come in and fight their main force over here. And they're stack wiped. Perfect. And we'll just get all of this capped. That'll be perfect. So that's a lot of ducats. I'm going to say no to that, but we're running a deficit right now, and I'm not terribly happy about it. We can get a core going, or not a core, we can get a conversion going, and we can also celebrate a festival. That all seems good. These sieges are underway nicely. I like it. So I'm going to move these guys. Actually, I'm going to move both of these all the way down to here for now. So just going to replace that army for the moment. Excellent. So people are entering into military coalitions against us. Not like we care. But people are going to be very upset about this. That's for sure. 50% tax modifier for a year? That's going to be a big deal. Yeah, we're going to take that. So that'll be excellent. That'll cut into our expenses. Beautiful. The Siege of Isfahan actually just ended. I didn't expect that to happen then. That's fantastic. So now the question is, do we want to piece out Oltu? And the answer is, of course, yes, we do. So Oltu is Armenia. Okay. So that's noted. So that is these guys right here. I'd love to make them be our vassal, and we can. It'll make some enemies, but we already have lots of enemies. So, sure. There we go. We'll take Armenia as our vassal. And these guys, they can just start heading on back. At this point, they can head down over here. So we've got this unit here. They can head back. And we're doing some sieging out over this way. That'll be done soon enough. So that's all looking good. We'd like to get Achaia out of this war. Are we going to vassalize them as well? That's a hard maybe. That's definitely a hard maybe. Everyone hates us in the HRE, of course, but what do we care? Like, sure, you can enter into a coalition against us if you like. Not like you're going to do anything. So it all seems good. The real question is, if we vassalize Greece, will the HRE get enough aggressive expansion? That could be a concern if the HRE does. That said, we could just take territory over here, potentially, or we could just piece them out and take ducats and war reps. All of that would be fine. So let's get this siege finished. And that's all looking good. These two sieges, in general, need to finish. We'll take this guy. Cool. So that all looks fine for now. This war will be over pretty soon. But I do want Achaia to fall. We're getting very aggressive right now. No doubt about that. But that's because we can. So at this point, I want this unit to make its way back over here. These guys can spread out. These can get to drilling. Perfect. You can get to drilling. You can get to drilling. You can get to drilling. And then we'll wait on the other to arrive over here. So the Siege of Achaia is over. Let's go in and stack wipe their army. Perfect. Business is booming. Fantastic. So we'll get this taken over. We just lost a military leader in Sfax, which is out over here. And we're going to roll up a new one. Perfect. No, I don't want you to autonomously siege. Just go ahead and drill. That'll be fine. This army can drill, and this army is intended to go back to Italy. Ooh, that's a lot of ducats. We're going to take the ducats. Sounds great. Okay, so the Battle of Corinth is done. This will be their last remaining location. They just unconditionally surrendered. And yeah, I mean, it's over. It's super, super over. So the Industrial Revolution just spawned in 1760, as we expected. So that is absolutely fine. We'll walk our way back over here, but I don't want to go through Lika because that will unblack flag us. So we're going to walk back over this way, make sure that we are in Bulgaria over here when we do this peace deal. So now the question is, Achaia. We cannot make them be our vassal, and we can't take territory because of our war goal. So we're going to have to take war reps, and we're going to have to take ducats, and they can steer trade. There we go. So that seems fine. Now we're going to have to wait a few days for this war to be over. And we'll see what we can actually get out of it here. So we want to claim the electorate, and Ray will become a subject. What? I mean, kind of? Okay. Well, we apparently cannot take war reparations. We'll take as much gold as we can, anyway. And anything else that we can have them do? I don't really care about ending that rivalry. This seems good. So, decisive victory there. We are now officially an electorate. Everyone hates us, of course. We're going to cast our vote for ourselves. Perfect. So nobody else is going to, of course. These guys are all backing Diyarbakir, which is these guys right here, which makes sense. Everyone hates us, remember. Absolutely everyone hates us. So that's a thing. But we can now upgrade our government rank. So that's good. This will take us up to a kingdom. Excellent. And we could get ourselves this admin tech. I'm still going to hold off on... Actually, no, I'm not. We are behind time now. Okay. I'm going to take the admin tech. And we're going to take the military tech as well. So that looks good. Absolutely excellent. We haven't embraced industrialization, but we should have that by the time the next one of those rolls through. Now, I would like to switch us over to dip focus. As we can see, we have too many relations, which isn't surprising at all. So we have access through Bazin, and we should not. Let's get rid of that. That's these guys down over here. Right. So we're going to cancel the military access here. There we go. That means that we're only going to be costing 2 per month. Understood. So we do need to have a new unit of cavalry. There we go. Okay. But it is about time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to see about maybe taking over the emperorship, because we would like to make our vassals, or to make all of these guys who are currently electors our vassals. That would be ideal, but we have a long ways to go on that one. That's for sure. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video. And as always, I will see you all next time.